Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Why do you always say gentlemen?
We are at the Ziegler Garage Circus today.
It's gonna be a circus today. We're gonna be going all over the place.
We got two clowns.
So for those of you, I know there's a few of you that were watching our videos to see how we did the floor replacement in this. We thank you for watching us for that. We haven't 100% finished the floors because there is a couple supports underneath that we haven't done yet, and we also haven't shown everything that we've done underneath. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. This whole video is on the floor.
Floor is set up for a bench seat. So you only have the two outside mounting points. We got to level the seats. I don't know if the seats were crooked before. I don't know if it's mostly because of the floor.
The rotted out floor.
Or if it's because of they just added tie downs. It wasn't set up for a bench seat or a bucket seat. So
we got to pull the seats down. They're up in the rafters.
Up yonder.
We're gonna just do the driver's side to start because we're planning on running the fuel lines and brake lines up the driver's side. So we want to get the driver's side done so we could move forward with that.
Well, that you got to have 5 people in the car. So you got you and 4 witnesses that the fear of the Mustangs got embarrassed. So. You don't want any misconceptions.
We don't want no stories now.
You got to get it accurate. So we're gonna get the seats in this thing. Let's go. Come on.
Let's get started.
So we got our seats up here in the overflow storage. We're gonna get them down here, up in the rafters. So we're gonna grab the driver's seat because that's gonna be the one that we're focusing on today. So let me get my OSHA-approved ladder set up here and grab it. All right. Well, the passenger seat's in the way, so we're getting both of them. All right, passenger seat down. Excuse me. Careful. Careful. Oh, I got seat all over me. Forgot what the seats look like. Haven't seen them in a year. So these are the seats that came in the car when we got it. I know they're not a factory 65 seat because they didn't have a headrest in 65. They look like almost like a Chevelle, later Chevelle, but I'm not sure. Leave a little comment if you know what these things are out of. I know they're earlier though because you got the push button in the back to release them to fold down. This is what we're gonna use. This is what came out of it. Being that this is a bench seat floor, it only has it on the outside. So we need to add the inners and get the seat nice and level. But it has these little structures that go underneath the floor. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit more, but this goes in the back for the back of the seat. And you can see where it would go through the floor and bolt to. And then they already added different configurations. These are all where the pop rivets were, or the spot welds, I mean. So this is the rear of the seat, and then this one is the front. The front seat just goes under the floor. So I'm gonna put these back in for structure, but I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna use these mounting points. So I gotta get the seat in there, see how cattywampus it sits in the car, and what we gotta do to level it. See how this looks inside here. Awkward thing. Just hit this stupid truck a little bit. So you can see here is the flat spot where the bench seat would normally sit. I think this floor got a little pushed down, climbing in and out of it. I might have to pop it back up. So the outer seat track lines up on the flat spot here, so it'll probably work out pretty good. Without sitting in the seat, it looks like it's kind of leaning back a little too far, like you're at the movies, all reclined back. So we might have to space the back of the seat up a little bit. But so roughly, if this is where the seat should be, which seems like it's pretty close, this inner one is sitting in a hole. You can see the seat goes crooked. That corner needs to be lifted up a little bit. I mean, it's not bad, but I think the whole back of the seat is too far back.
All right, so it's been about an hour. We're trying to figure out what to do with the seat, and I think we came to the conclusion of what to do. So we got the car up on jack stands on the front and rear, and we got it all leveled out. So what we're gonna do is that back piece, the big long piece, we're gonna weld that in first and try and get the support back into the floor before trying to figure out where the seat is going to be. So let's show you that right now underneath. Let's get with the master mechanic.
All right, fellas, we're underneath this fine automobile here. So this is where this brace was. You see where I cut it out when I did the floor? So this guy's here is gonna slide up. So it sits here, and you can see it doesn't really fit tight to the floor because the floor got a little bent. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it up in place here. We're gonna put the floor jack on it. And we're going to push this up so it straightens the floor back out where it should be. And we're going to weld this in. This one here is not so, I mean, it's kind of critical because we are putting a bolt in that corner. So we're going to add these back in first. We're going to put a jack on this, like I said. Get the floor straightened back out because it kind of got pushed down for me climbing in and out of the car before it was all fully installed. And then the floor on this thing was really beat up on the unibody here, on the like the frame rail of the unibody side. So this got really beat up. I hammered it down when I had the floor out and straightened it, but this was pushed up initially. So I notched the front of it up here so I can bend it back down to get it straight to the floor. So it's not quite done yet, 100%. So I need my trusty assistant here to push on the floor so it's tight here, so I'm able to weld that back down and get this all straightened out. When I welded the subframe connectors to the unibody here, it was all leveled on jack stands and everything before I put it all together. So I know this is straight where I want it to be. Now I just need to get the floor reattached, and then we'll go to the inside now that we know that we're level, and then we can level it inside the car for the seat to sit nice and flat. So hold on. We're gonna make welding. Hold on. We finished up the floor up here, got it all straightened out, all pulled down tight and backed in. Now we got this little brace in here. We're gonna get it straight as possible to the eye. We're gonna one eye it, and we're gonna weld it in. We got a jack tier obviously to the floor, got it up tight. This here we're gonna have to beat over. This brace doesn't come with the floor plan. Or the halves. It might come with
the floor pan.
The floor plan.
The floor plan.
The floor plan.
We're building a Nova. The floor plan of the Nova.
The floor pan. It might come with the if you get the whole thing, but it would have been easier if we got the whole thing. I'll have to talk to my parts guy. He dropped the ball on that one. But yeah, not sure if it comes with the full pan. But the individuals it doesn't come with, so you got to cut it out. Well, you don't have to cut it out and reuse it. You can have a floppy floor. It's up to you. You do what you want. We cut it out. We're gonna reuse it. So we got the braces put in and got the floor welded to the subframe. Thing is super stout. Solid now, man. No more flexing. It moved brought the floor up nice and straight.
You see all the spot welds along where we put that piece in on the floor.
The only one we have to put in is the front one. But what I'm going to do is the rear one right here lines up with this seat track. Lines up good, so that worked out. And it has 2 holes in the back, and then this has 2 holes. So I'm going to drill the 2 holes, get this rear part bolted down, and then I'll drill the front and put a bolt through to hold this up tight so it's in the right location. Then I'll install this one, and then I'll worry about leveling the seat. But it looks pretty level. So now I'm going to drill from the bottom. 2 holes are like right here. And then bolt the back down, get the front in, put the last piece in it here. This isn't really a brace. It just keeps you from ripping the bolt through the floor. It doesn't add any structure to the floor. All the Fiero killing power this thing has, you don't want to be ripping the seat out. So let me drill these. So it's been a few days. We got some stuff done. We need to do some more, obviously. We got the seat all mounted. Turned out really good. We got it shimmed, and then we wound up putting the bolts up through the floor. And then I tacked them on the bottom, so they're like a stud. So you can take the seat in and out by yourself. You don't have to have somebody underneath holding the bolt and taking it loose. So it's just like a nut. So it's just a stud. So when we put the carpet in, just notch around the mounts. Some of them have washers to get them shimmed, get the seat shimmed so it was flat. So we'll just notch the carpet and the sound deadening a little bit around the mounts. Turned out really good. It's really stable compared to what it was before when we got the car. There's only like 2 bolts holding the seat in there, and the floor was rotten, so it's night and day for sure. I got a shifter knob, but I got the wrong thread pitch on the shifter knob. I got a 3/16 thread, and this one's like a 3/24. It's a fine thread. So I gotta get a different shifter knob. So we did get a gas cap. Well, this is round 2 gas cap. The first one was a locking, it didn't fit. So we just got a normal chromie. Let's see how it fits. Oh man, that thing's tight. Oh yeah, look at that, race ready. So next we're gonna do the passenger side, but before we can do the passenger side, We need to strip off the brackets. So we got to cut these off of the old floor. This is what you watch this install on the driver's side. So we're going to continue on. And you can see it's kind of dented, so we got to beat it straight. We got to clean it up. This poor car, man. Somebody went 4x in this poor little Nova. We'll do the same thing. We'll put the braces in, get the floor all good. We'll mount the seat the same exact way. And then we're gonna move on to the tunnel. I'm not looking forward to that. That's gonna be the last excitement. But once it's done, man, we're on the downhill slippery slope then. It might probably be before we do the tunnel in between. I'll probably go back and forth, but I'm gonna start doing the fuel lines. And I just kind of want to go halfway. So I just cut a piece to get started here, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to do the fuel lines all in one piece, because I got to go around suspension and stuff in the back here, and it's going to come down the rocker panel, and it's got to go up. And then, as you remember, the fuel lines go to the back of the engine above the bell housing. So I'm going to do it in 2 pieces. So this is going to be the one that goes to the fuel pump. I'm trying to make it to the center is what I'm hoping for, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go with the bulkhead fitting to hold the lines in the center, or I'm going to clamp it, the rubber isolated clamps to hang it. But I might just do a union, connect the 2 lines together, because it's going to be a hard line the whole way. So this is the one to the pump, and then I got another one here. This one's a little bit longer because it's got to start out. Whoa. This one's a little bit longer, as you can see, because it's going to the return on the gas tank, which is over on kind of more on the passenger side. So it's got to come over, and then the fuel pump is on the driver's side. So that's why it's a little bit longer. So I'm hoping to meet them in about the same spot. We'll show probably next go around. That'll be the next episode of the Nova. There's a little shot underneath here. You can see we get the driveline put in it. The driver's arm there that goes to the torque link, we got that put on. We got the bushing that we were missing, and then we had to leave that out so we get the driveline in it. So we got all that finished up, driveline, torque link. So this is all put together. It's all tight. Get the pinion angle set. I went a little lower than what TCI recommends. They wanted a positive 1 degree, and I did a negative 2.5, I think it is. -2, so I went a little lower, which helps with traction and a couple other things, but we can always adjust it if we don't like the outcome of it. We got the rear end, so the rear end's completely done. Suspension wise, torque link, everything's all tight, cross member. And then we had to trim this here little dry shaft loop here. Well, it's like dry shaft loop, and it kind of protects the torque link here on this little sliding bushing. But on the upper part, maybe because we have the car lower, I called TCI and they said that they normally set the cars up the height that we have it at, but I was having a problem with this little dry shaft loop hitting the driveline on the top. So I took the top of it off. And then, I mean, the whole worry about a driveline is not going through the floor. It's hitting the ground and then like pole vaulting the car. So I'm more worried about the driveline hitting the street than I am the driveline coming up through the floor. I don't think it's going to come through the floor, but I don't think it's going to come out either way. I mean, I think the car will blow the tires off before it'll snap a driveline. I mean, these are new U-joints and everything. You know, we got good axles. I'm not worried about breaking a U-joint. That's the little problem we ran into on the suspension wise here. Here's the little seat deal, and then I used 2 bolts in the back. It's the way the seat track was, so we got 2 here, and then they wound up hitting the brace, so it's super strong. And then I tacked them just so you don't have to hold them. So I tightened it down, and then I tacked it. And then this one here, I wound up, this is where the original seat, these 2 here, and then the seat wound up being a little bit more over, so I had to bring it over. And then I had to add these, obviously, because this is a bench seat car. And then the front one here, I put a big fender washer on it. We tacked that guy in there, so it has you know, more material against the floor. And then on the outer here, this is the original factory deal for the bench seat mount, but the hole didn't work with the bucket seats that I have going on in here. I'm still not sure. I think these seats are out of a later Impala 70s or something, because they're pretty wide. So I just tacked in the reinforcement here, so the seat got good meat. It's not just on the small floor, it's got some reinforcement. And then we got the floor here all tacked back to the unibody. I got to clean up a little bit. A couple of these was a little dirty, so it got a little raised up a little bit on the tacks, but we got it all welded down, so now it's super crap rattle inside the car. Super stout. So I think it turned out really good. It's really trick. And then we checked the fluid on our tranny. So our tranny fluid's good. We already have oil in it. We watched us put coolant in it. We checked the gear oil. We had to add a little bit more, not quite a quart. So the gear oil is good. We greased the front end. I think we did that last go around. And then we greased this here's, you can see here's got a Zerk on it. TCI said be careful with it. You don't want to get too much, you know, you don't want to keep pumping until it oozes out. You just want to give it a couple squirts, but we got that that lubed. Got the dry shaft lubed when we put it in. We put a couple squirts in the U-joints. Just the final go around. And then obviously when we're done with the floor, we can start running the exhaust. The way TCI designed these cross members, they should have brought them up a little higher and brought them a little more in so you have room to bring exhaust. Because right now the exhaust is gonna kind of hang lower. You can't really come above it because there's not enough space and you don't really want it uptight to the floor. So that's another thing that I'm not too fond of on this whole TCI suspension deal, but something to keep in mind if you want to run this on your car. The exhaust is kind of, I almost want to bring it out to the side here because I have more room on the outside, but then I got to go right here, which still might be higher than coming over here because this is the lowest point on the car right now, which is kind of in a vulnerable spot because it's right in the middle. So going over a speed bump or something, this might be a problem driving through parking lots and driveways and stuff. I'm a little worried about that.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was shorter than we liked it to be, but this is all that we were able to get done. But that's a big hurdle, getting the driver's side seats mounted. And you guys also got to see some of the progress with some of the other things that we're doing with the car. Got a gas cap, got a driver's seat, and we're moving forward. So I got nothing to cross off the list, unfortunately, but you'll have to stay tuned till the next video because I'm hoping to cross something off. I'm not sure what we'll get done, but we're going to keep moving forward like I already said. So please hit the subscribe button down below if you enjoy the Nova videos and stay tuned for the next one. Hit the like button if you like Chevy Novas, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.